Hi, I am Jeff Lyons, and I'm going to show you a little bit about just the possibilities in the future where you could expand and to what extent. If you look here on the PowerPoint, you can see that we're using New York City as kind of a standard. If one day China, Argentina, and India had similar coffee consumption levels to that of New York City, this is what we could expect. In Chongqing, you could literally put 680 more stores there than you have now. Again, if consumption levels were equal to that of New York. With Buenos Aires, 265 or more stores. And with Mumbai and Delhi, 300 stores apiece. Now, we use this just to show you that there is so much room for growth internationally. Now, if you see on the next slide, we're going to be looking at the Starbucks store openings. Over 28 years, since 1982, when Howard Schultz opened your company, 16,729 stores worldwide have been opened. That's roughly 597 stores per year since '82. In the last 5 years alone, from 2005 to 2009, you opened nearly 6,500 stores. That's roughly 40% of the total stores opened in your 28 years of operation. 3,900 of these were in the U.S. This is one reason why there were nearly 1,000 store closings in the United States, and shows that the U.S. experienced too much growth too fast, and that it's mature and saturated. In this 5-year period, Starbucks averaged 14.6% growth in new store openings. If you open stores at this growth rate over the next 10 years, you would have nearly 60,000 stores open. The growth needs to relocate internationally at a much slower pace. Over the next 10 years, we are proposing that at the most 6,000 stores to open, with at least 95% of them being internationally. We recommend that the domestic market here in the United States freezes until need be. The next slide we're going to look at is a McDonald's store count. As you can see, McDonald's is much more present internationally than Starbucks, with nearly 20,000 stores compared to Starbucks less than 6,000. In the next 10 years, you do not need to try to equal McDonald's in total stores internationally, because you'd be growing at a dangerous rate and possibly see a familiar problem of having to close stores because of too much growth. Y'all thought that the United States economy would be able to support the large number of new store openings in the past, and had to close down nearly 20% of the stores you open in the United States in the last 5 years. You see that McDonald's actually has less stores in the United States than does Starbucks, again showing little to no room for growth domestically. This is an example of what McDonald's is doing internationally. What they have that they don't have here in the United States. They're called McDonald's McCafes, and they're actually a separate entity inside a McDonald's store. They put them with a different counter, a different set of seating, and they're actually titled McCafes, not McDonald's. This is to directly target Starbucks and to put another competitor out there for them to compete with. They plan to have 1,100 of these McCafes in Europe, and to be the #1 coffee seller in Europe. Starbucks currently has 1,200 stores in Europe.
Our second recommendation for you is strategic partnerships. It's a 5 to 7 year plan to form multiple strategic partnerships worldwide with major hotel chains all the way down to individual resorts. Having strategic partnerships with hotels is a great opportunity to aid in international expansion. By putting Starbucks stores within hotel grounds, we could reach a greater number of travelers across the world. These locations would be convenient for business professionals as well as wealthy upper-class world travelers. Strengthening the strategic partnership with hotels would increase Starbucks' international sales while improving the customer base of those hotel chains. It could also lower initial investment costs by moving into hotel grounds, using their staffing and facilities to open up the stores instead of expanding on, I don't have this written down, expanding on, I'm trying to think, what would you, like standalone stores, I guess? Instead of expanding by building standalone stores.
Building from ground up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for that one. Within the United States, these hotels, DoubleTree, Embassy Suites, and Hyatt, offer Starbucks products in the room for customers to brew at their own convenience, whereas Hilton offers actual store locations in many of their U.S. hotel lobbies. Our consulting firm wants Starbucks to expand the strategic partnership you already have with these hotels internationally and put more store locations on the hotel grounds instead of using those hotels simply as distribution channels.
One argument that is presented about Starbucks is that lowering prices in other countries like China and India may have an adverse effect on Starbucks' profits and ability to expand. Starbucks has already lowered their prices in China, which has allowed them to enter into hostile markets. The lowered prices have allowed Starbucks to be more competitive with McDonald's in international markets where the McCafe is already established. We believe Starbucks should enter into international markets on a large scale because of their current lack of presence. The closing of nearly 1,000 stores in the U.S. shows signs of saturation and competitiveness. The focus should be shifted to more lucrative and attractive environments internationally, like China and India, for example. Due to domestic saturation and competition and your lack of international presence, there couldn't be a more opportune time for you to take on international expansion in a really big way. The 10-year bonds you took out in August 2007 allow you to further your international presence. With your continued commitment to giving consumers a quality product and a unique experience, you can earn back brand loyalty that was lost in recent years. In the example countries given, populations are growing rapidly and patrons are ready to spend and be part of a global lifestyle and culture. By using strategic partnerships to enter international markets, Starbucks will see a lower initial investment in opening new stores. Store count will increase without drastically increasing prices. Partnering is a way to expand sales, markets, growth, and has the added benefit of lower costs. Often, when firms want to set foot in foreign markets, they decide to do it through a joint venture. By using strategic partnerships to enter international markets, the initial costs will be reduced, which will allow Starbucks to test new locations to see if they are profitable. We can extend our core competencies through entering into relationships with organizations whose capabilities complement Starbucks. Starbucks is a leader in the specialty coffee industry because of their hard work and dedication. By following our recommendations for your firm, within the next 10 years, we predict international profitability to equal but possibly far exceed that of the United States.